Hey guys, welcome back to Raver's Mead and welcome back to our 12 days of Vlogmas. So today we're going to be doing our Christmas Q&A and I'm actually really excited for this one. You guys have been posting your questions on a community post that I put up recently and there's some really good questions this year, so I'm actually really looking forward to this. Alright, so I've actually got them up on a list on my phone. I've saved them all to a little notepad on my phone, because last time I tried to do some kind of video, I can't even remember what video it was, but so you guys might not have seen it actually. I don't think that video ever made it to getting published, but last time I tried to do a video that involved me relying on internet down here. It didn't go well, so I've learned from my errors of the past and I have saved all of your questions to a note on my notepad on my phone. So that's what I'm going to be working through today. And there's quite a few questions on here actually. Some of them have got like multiple questions in a question. So these are in no particular order. They're just in the order that I happen to see them come up and take a note of them. So. So we'll start with this one, which is, somebody would like to know the story of how all of the horses became ours, including Stumps they put on the end there as well. Like I'd forget Stumps. How could we not include Stumps in that? Okay, so the story of how they all came to be with us. So I'll try and do this in the order in which we got them, and I'll try and keep it relatively brief because this could be an entire video in of itself, to be fair. So out of all the horses we've got now, Woody would have been the first one who came to us. I bought him as a 6-month-old weanling. Mum did figure out some of his past, but I honestly can't remember it. My memory is shocking. But he came to us basically straight from the field off of his mother, from what I understand. And we got him from a dealer who had got him from the breeder. And yeah, I bought him. So he was the first horse that I actually bought myself. So we bought him. I don't really know what the plan was. Maybe as like a companion, or maybe I was just jumping on the little bandwagon that Mum had going at the time. But she bought herself a gypsy cob weanling a short while before I got Woody. And then I ended up buying Woody, and then things kind of escalated from there. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I think she just kind of like got caught up in the whole gypsy cob craze thing that happened many years ago. And yeah, so we just ended up buying all these youngsters, and many of them like didn't make the height or were just not for us. You know, some horses are just not for you. You know what I mean. But Woodster ended up being my horse, and he ended up staying with us, and he's awesome and I love him. So Woody was the first one who came to us. Who would we have got next? Nellie would have been the next one. So Mum bought Nellie from a lady who is now a friend of ours. Blue is trying to eat the window. He's such a pain in the butt, that horse. So Nellie came from a lady who is now a friend of ours. Again, I'm not really sure why Mum bought Nellie. I think she kind of wanted like a riding horse. So Nellie was like, she was young, she was 3 years old when we got her, but she was really straightforward and simple, like easy to ride, easy to get on with. And I think Mum was kind of just after an easy horse that she could just jump on and go for a ride on. And I think she liked the idea of the gypsy cobs because of their kind of like their temperament, their personality and the way they are. Like just kind of easy rides. So yeah, Nellie came to us, I think, just as kind of like an easy ride. And again, she's ended up staying with us. I'm trying to think who would have come next, if it was Blue or Stumpy. I think it would have been Stumpy next. So Stumpy was bought, I don't know, she must have been maybe 7 or 8 when we got her. And she was bought as a companion for the youngsters that we were having in and out at the time. And also just kind of like a companion for if there was ever horses or a horse left behind if we ever went out riding. So if me and Mum would go out riding together, obviously taking 2 horses out, leaving one behind, especially if it's young, could always be a bit difficult. So that's kind of why Stumps ended up coming to us to use as a companion pony. And obviously she drives now, we do stuff with her. So she's just sweet as anything. So she ended up staying with us as well. And Blue, I'm pretty sure, would have been the last one to join the family. Obviously there's been other horses like in and around all of this as well. But obviously these 4 are the ones that stayed with us. So Blue came to us as a 3-year-old. He came from the same lady we got Nelly from. He'd been he'd changed hands a lot of times, I think, just before he came to us. And he was actually purchased with the intention of him being Woody's driving partner. I did train Woody to drive, believe it or not. It didn't go well. I don't think he's cut out to be a driving horse. I mean, maybe it might go better now he's a bit older and a bit more mature. Probably wouldn't, to be fair, but he just was not compatible. His personality was not compatible with being a driving horse. So that kind of like fell apart completely. But that was why we got Blue. And then it turned out that he was just awesome. Like, he's a pain in the backside, don't get me wrong, but he is a phenomenal horse. He's very smart. He's absolutely stunning. He's got an amazing movement. He's an amazing show pony. And yeah, he just kind of ended up staying as well, despite Mum trying to sell him numerous times because he's that much of a pain in the butt. But I was like, no, I like Blue. Kind of feel like I choke on my words some days about insisting we keep him, but no, he is awesome, really, despite his challenges. So that's kind of like a really brief overview of how they all came to us, and I suppose why they stayed with us. So that was our first question. I'm just gonna have a look at our next one. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Okay, so the next one I've got on my list is, do you have any plans for your horses for next year? Kind of and kind of not. So this year, I had this year planned out like crazy. I've actually still got my calendar up on the wall, just up here. I had loads of horse show dates planned out. Like, I kind of had my goals for the year and my plan for the year and all the shows we wanted to go to and all the stuff we wanted to do with each horse. And it literally just got blown out of the water. Everything went wrong. We didn't do anything in the end. And so for next year, like, I'm still going to go ahead and gather loads of show dates, put them in my diary. I want everything on my radar, but I don't know. I feel like I don't want to like set my heart on crazy big plans just to be disappointed again. So I think I'm going to keep the goals kind of vague. Like, I want to take Woody out showing. That's definitely a goal. I would like to take Stumpy out doing more driving. That's definitely another goal. I would like to take Nelly out doing more longer rides again, like we used to. Just like we do rides, we do local rides, but I would like to get her out doing like the epic long rides all up through the woods, like 2-3 hour rides kind of thing. So that's kind of like my goal with Nelly. And also with Woody as well. I kind of just want to get him, like, getting him back into the show ring, I feel like is going to be the final tick in the box on him coming back into proper work after his lameness. So that will feel good to know that he can go out and compete again. And Blue's kind of like in a similar boat as Woody, in that my main goal with him is that I just want to get him sound. I want to get his feet in good condition. I want to get him sound. I want to get him fit again, and hopefully get him back out to some shows. I'm not particularly fussed what kind of events we're going to. I'm not really looking at any higher level stuff. It would be great if we could get to some higher level stuff, like some qualifiers maybe for traditional of the year show. It would, I mean, it's always on my radar. We've never managed to pull it off yet, but you know, we might manage to pull off some qualifiers one day. You never know. You got to keep hoping, haven't you? But yeah, I think I'm going to try and keep my goals kind of a little bit more contained and a little bit more flexible this year, just so that I don't end up getting ridiculously disappointed again. Okay. My next question on here is, why cobs? I'd say I know, as I have too, and have had various other breeds, but for you, why cobs? Let's face it, they're not exactly low maintenance. You went wrong there. I don't know. So like I said earlier, like, my mum kind of got in on the whole gypsy cob, feathered horse, Blagden cob craze thing when it kind of became a thing many years ago. And she was kind of like getting a few youngsters in. I ended up getting Woody, and then I don't know, we just kind of escalated from there, and they just kind of stuck. I think they're really nice horses. They're fairly easy horses, temperament wise. Like, obviously they have their quirks. Woody is quirky. Blue is just a nightmare some days, but compared to a lot of horses I've worked with over the years, like, they're pretty easy going. They're pretty kind horses. They're just, I don't know, I just like their personalities, and they are exceptionally beautiful animals as well. Like, some horses, you kind of look at them and it's like, yeah, they're nice, but they're just kind of like plain. But I don't know, I find the cobs, they're just really pretty. They're really nice to look at. And they're very versatile. Like, I don't know, some horses, you look at the amount of bone they've got on their legs and it's like, yeah, I don't really feel like I want to do too much with that because I feel like I'm going to break its leg just by sitting on it. And other horses just have so much go in them. Like some of the more energetic breeds, like your thoroughbreds and your Arabs and stuff, like some of them just have so much go in them that it's a constant battle trying to do anything other than a flat out gallop. And then you get some horses that just seem to be genetically scatterbrainy. And you know, like the cobs just don't, they just seem to be pretty level-headed and pretty easy compared to a lot of other horses that I've ridden. So I don't know, I guess it came about because of a kind of a craze, but then it kind of stuck because they are nice horses. But no, I do agree that the maintenance is a lot. There is a lot to do. I would say that's, for mum anyway, that's been the biggest like bugbear with having the cobs, is the amount of maintenance that they require because they are high maintenance. Okay, next question. Who is your favourite equestrian YouTuber? Okay, there's kind of like 2 or 3 questions in this one. Okay, so the first part of this is, who is your favourite equestrian YouTuber? I don't know if I have one favourite, but the channels that I watch the most, I would say are EJM Equestrian, Pony Fun with Clover and Jasmine, and Karen Badrick. I don't know if I'm saying your last name right, sorry. Karen Badrick Equestrian. They are the 3 that I watch. I mean, I try to watch every video they put up, but sometimes, like when life gets busy, like I'm behind on a couple of videos at the moment, but I would say they are my top 3 equestrian YouTubers. I don't tend to watch any of the bigger channels. I don't know why. I mean, I have watched some of the bigger channels, but I don't know, it just never really stuck. I'm not really sure why, but yeah, I'd say they're my favourite 3. What's your favourite equestrian brand of clothing? Honestly, I don't think I have one. So I don't really do equestrian clothing, which is a bit ridiculous given my lifestyle, but I don't know, most of my clothes come from Tesco's, Matalan, or charity shops, if I'm being completely honest. So yeah, I don't know. I do own some equestrian branded stuff. Like I couldn't tell you who they're by. I mean, I've got a really nice tweed show jacket. I've got a really nice black jacket as well. I couldn't tell you who either of them are by. I know the boots I've got for the show ring are by Ariat. They do some very nice boots. I would definitely like go back to them again next time to get my next pair of riding boots. But yeah, no, I just don't. I'm not an equestrian brandy person. That's really weird, actually, isn't it? I don't know. I guess it's just not my cup of tea. I guess the clothing's just not really for me. I'm not really into the whole like sporty wear kind of base layer kind of stuff that they do for the top end. And I don't generally wear joggers or breeches just because I find the fit of them a little bit uncomfortable. I don't like all the extra seams. Like I know why the extra seams are there because they put extra fabric in like places that get worn down when you're riding, but you know, I just find them quite uncomfortable and I don't enjoy wearing them, and I don't tend to wear them. I tend to wear leggings. So yeah, I don't really have an answer to that question because I'm a bit of a weird person. Sorry about that. There was one more question in this one. There was like a third part. Hang on, let me get it back up. So the third part was, and will you ever get another cat or dog? Yes, definitely. Like, I mean, when Tia and Taz eventually, you know, leave us. I don't want to say it too loudly because they're stood right there, but when they eventually leave us, there's always going to be more dogs. I'm trying to think of a time when our house was without a dog. I actually can't remember. It's been very short periods of time when we've been without dogs. And cats, we've been toying with the idea of getting another cat since Billy died. I wouldn't say that I particularly want like a pet cat. I don't want a house cat or anything like that because he was a terror in the house. Like he was never put on this planet to be a house cat. He was always put on this planet to live out here. This was his purpose in life. So I don't think I would want a house cat, but I definitely want yard cats again. Like something, I don't know, maybe like semi-feral. Like it's more for the sake of rodent control than anything. I need rodent control. I need some predators in here badly. Like, and if they want to be friendly with us, then that's really nice as well. Like, I do like cats, but at the same time, I wouldn't be upset if we got a couple of cats and they just kind of like came to us for food and went off and did their own thing a day. That would be fine. But yes, to both of those, definitely more cats and dogs in the future. Kind of hoping we might be able to get a cat or two in next summer, but we just need to figure out a place to house them while they get used to it. So we've got a space for cats to sleep here, but we can't really contain them in it. So yeah, we just need to figure that one out a little bit. But as I said, yes, definitely to both of those. Next question. Oh, actually, one second, guys. I've just realised I've left the hose running to fill up my trough, and I may need to go switch over. One sec. Oh my goodness, I timed that perfectly. It was literally just coming up to the top of the trough like that far. Couldn't have timed that better if I tried. Okay, next question. I've got to find my place on the list again now. Right, I want to know if you want to get any more horses and your riding goals. So, that's just, of course I want to get more horses, like, absolutely. So what I would really like to do is I would really like to get some youngsters in again. I really enjoy doing like early days training with young horses. I'm a bit rubbish when it comes to the more advanced stuff, like, don't ask me to do a flipping flying change or a pirouette or anything like that. Like, we've done that stuff by accident before. Like, I can kind of figure it out, but I'm not good at that kind of thing. But I really, really enjoy training young horses. I really enjoy backing young horses and doing all of the groundwork and the manners and the mounting block training and desensitizing. I really love doing all that stuff. So yeah, I would really like to get some young horses in, like, probably not to keep. I don't think I would want to keep any of them long term. Well, it's not going to work like that, is it? Let's face it, people. But the plan wouldn't be to keep them long term. The plan would be to kind of like get them going and then find them new homes, which is kind of what we used to do. We had a lot of horses in and out over a few years, which was good fun. I really enjoyed that. But like, financially, it ain't going to happen at the moment. There's just no chance that's going to happen. And yeah, it's kind of like time as well. It's finding the time to do all of that. So yes, I would really like to do that, but I don't think it's going to happen. Not at the moment anyway. I mean, things can always change, you never know, but that would be something I would really like to do. And I know Mum would really like to get herself a hunter as well, like a Irish draft type. And while we're at it, we would also like to get a Suffolk Punch as well. That would be like the dream tier horse list, would be to get the Irish draft, get the Suffolk Punch. I'm sure there's a couple of other breeds as well that we would probably like to have as like pets. Obviously like riding horses as well, but yeah. And I think the other part was riding goals. So covered a little bit about goals already for the horses for next year. Riding goals for me personally, I think I just want to be like, I don't know how to word it. I just want to be a better rider, I think is the easiest way of putting it. I would really like to learn some more advanced kind of like dressage-y stuff. That would be fun. I would enjoy doing that because I like, again, I know I've been saying this for years, but I really would like to do some kind of like semi-regular dressage. Woody and Blue are both really good at it. I think Blue gets on better with it because he's more confident in a competitive environment, but Woody does do very well at dressage. Once you get him out of the warm-up ring, that is. He doesn't cope well with the warm-up ring, but once he's out of it, he's fine. And so, yeah, we've got both the boys who are potentially, I mean, I don't know how far they could go, but I mean, I would say probably elementary they could both do comfortably. I don't know if I'd want to go as far as Grand Prix because I don't know if I have that level of commitment, to be completely honest. But yeah, it would be nice to learn a few more like finer tuned movements. And yeah, like I said, just generally be a better rider, like be more mindful of how I'm communicating with the horses, be more mindful of how I'm like sitting on the horses, how I'm balanced and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of like personal goals. I don't know if I'm going to heavily pursue any of them, to be honest, just again, because of like time and money. Like getting lessons obviously costs money, and I'm super fussy with my riding instructors. I could do with having a riding instructor, and there's no doubt about that, but I'm really picky with them. You know, I have a lesson with somebody and they turn around and say, oh, your horse is being lazy, give it a smack with a stick. And I'm like, yeah, we're done. I'm not coming back here. I'm done with that. And it's just, I don't appreciate those kinds of attitudes. I don't like that kind of training. So yeah. So yeah, that's kind of a bit of a, there is stuff I'd like to do, but it's a little bit tricky for me to pursue stuff financially and time-wise, and me being a picky pain in the backside wise as well. Okay, so my next question is there a show you'd love to one day compete at? Yes, I would really like to get one or both of the boys to Traditional of the Year show. So Woody has actually been to Toys. He's been to the open day. He did the home produced class, I think. But it wasn't you didn't have to pre-qualify. It was, like I said, an open show. But I would really like to get the boys through the qualification process and actually get to like some of the bigger shows within the Traditional of the Year show event, if that makes sense. So that's definitely a goal I'd like to do. And I don't know if it counts as a horse show. Well, it doesn't count as a horse show. But I would actually really like to get involved in some kind of like reenactment events. Oh my goodness, Blue is pushing himself on the wall, scratching. That wall bent so much then. But yeah, I'd really like to get involved in some kind of like reenactment activities with the horses. I think that would be really, really fun as well. But I mean, I have found a couple of groups that do that kind of thing. But again, it's like time, finances, being able to commit to like doing that kind of thing. So it's probably not going to happen anytime soon, sadly. But the Toys thing we're definitely pursuing, even if it is somewhat on the back burner at the moment. Next question is, who has influenced your equestrian journey so far? That's a good question. So I would say Monty Roberts was probably one of my biggest influences, because he was the first horse trainer I ever came across who had a different way of doing things. He's got a much more, well, it's horsemanship, isn't it? It's very different to like your bog standard method of dealing with horses in the UK anyway. I mean, I've done some BHS training. I've done up to, I don't know what I've done up to. I've done some BHS qualifications and training. And the way that horses are trained and handled and treated in general, it can be a bit, if I'm being honest. And for me, Monty Roberts, I hope I said Monty Roberts a minute ago and not Monty Python. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna look forward to watching this back now and seeing if I did say that boo-boo. I've got a feeling I may have said that wrong. Well, Monty Roberts, anyway. That'd be really funny if I did say that, but yes, anyway. But Monty Roberts was the first person I came across who, I don't know, it just kind of like, it felt like a sigh of relief. I was like, oh, this is kind of what I've been trying to get at for a long time now. But every time I went for lessons with people, they were kind of like pushing me in the other direction, saying, oh, we don't train horses like that. We don't do this, we don't do that. And so it was really nice. I mean, I ended up buying a book of his. I watched a load of his videos and was like, okay, no, actually you can train horses this way. It works clearly because he's proved it works. And that was very liberating for me. And I took a lot of his advice on board. And what other influences have I had? I would say the next one would probably have been Ben Atkinson. Again, I'm really picky with people I take advice off of with regards to horses. But yeah, I would say the next biggest one would have been Ben Atkinson. Again, he's very much like a horsemanship style trainer. He does a lot of liberty training. And it's very similar to what Monty Roberts does, but obviously he does it for more of a showman kind of thing. And again, it's just, I enjoy the way he trains horses. It kind of like, it lines up with a lot of the values that I have when I'm thinking about training my horses. So I would say they were probably my two biggest influences. Obviously Monty Roberts being the first one, and then Ben Atkinson has kind of been on. I mean, he's not been around for as long as Monty, so I can't really think of any others. Like, I've never really been into following people or obsessing over people. Like everybody you ask that question, they're always like, oh yeah, we love like Carhester and Pipfunnel and blah, 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 all those big names. And I'm like, I don't know, they just never really jumped out to me. I never really felt inspired by those riders. I'm a strange little cookie really, aren't I? All right, next question. Where did I get to? Would love to know how your equestrian journey began, including any photos. Oh, I might have actually found some photos the other day. I was trawling through Facebook and I tried to save a load of them. I had loads of them saved to my computer and I managed to delete them a while ago because I'm a muppet. But I think I may have saved a photo of me when I was very young riding. If I can find it, I will put it up for you. But yeah, how my equestrian journey began, I have since found out it was all my granddad's fault, actually. So he apparently bought me my first pony. I did not know this until much later in life. I mean, people always say they remember stuff from their childhood. I remember so little, like the odd fragmented snippet of a memory. And on top of that, my memory is shocking anyway. But yeah, I later found out in life that it was my granddad who bought my first pony, Morris. Apparently he did the same to my mum as well for our 4th birthdays, I think it was. He bought us both a pony. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it all began. So I had my first pony. I vaguely remember him being somewhat of a terror. He was a New Forest pony. The only real memory I have of that pony, like the one that I know is genuinely mine, that wasn't like a story that someone's told me back later on. And then, because you know, you do that thing where you can be told a story about your life and that kind of like becomes a memory, even though you didn't actually remember it yourself. But the only memory I remember of him that's genuinely my memory was riding over the motorway bridge. And actually it's really funny because the yard we kept him on was just around the corner from here. Like I've probably taken you guys past it in videos before. But yeah, we were going over the motorway bridge down that way and the pony freaked out. I can't remember if he reared or bucked, and I ended up getting off. And my grandparents come and picked me up in the car. And I remember my mum ripping his saddle off, because it was a tiny kid saddle, jumping on him bareback and trotting him over the bridge and trotting him off. I can't remember if she trotted him home or out on a ride or what it was. But I just remember sitting there thinking, wow, my mum's a badass riding that naughty pony bareback. And like, obviously she was a grown woman riding like a 12 hands little pony. Of course he was going to behave for her. Well, he was going to behave for me. But yeah, I do remember him being a bit of a terror. But yeah, that was my first pony. And then I used to get loads of lessons on him. And then I ended up having loads of lessons after he was sold. Then a bit of everything. I used to do like jumping on him and stuff. I think I was a bit more fearless with the jumping as a kid. And then I ended up going to a different riding school years later where I did loads of hacking, like loads and loads of hacking. We used to just go galloping like crazy. It was great fun. And yeah, that was kind of like I don't remember learning how to ride or anything like that. It's just been something that happened to me so young that it's just all I've ever known, if that makes sense. So people always ask me like, oh, how do you remember learning to ride? I'm like, no, I genuinely don't. I've just always ridden horses. But yeah, he was my first horse, and then everything kind of like snowballed from there, really. Next question. What do you like about the area you live in, especially as you have horses? Okay, so this area is actually really good for hacking. You do have to go on some main roads to get there. But once you do get there, there's some really amazing hacking around here. We've got lots of woodlands. We've got lots of bridleways. We are very lucky for that. We've got a lot of agriculture around here. So there's loads of places to buy hay, haylage, straw, stuff like that. And actually we're in a really good place for like activities as well. So we've got 2 riding centres that are within hacking distance of us that we can go to. We can like hire arenas or have lessons or go to shows or anything like that. Like Burrows we go to is within hacking distance for us. It's just brilliant. Tumpy is also within hacking distance from us. It's a bit further away, but you can still do it in less than an hour. So yeah, we have a lot of like equestrian stuff around us in this area, which is really, really good. I can't say I've ever really thought about like living here that much, to be fair. I mean, it's a pretty area. Like, it's getting a little bit too built up around here now for my liking, but then again, I am very antisocial and you know, my idea of living in the countryside is being 20 miles away from your nearest neighbour. So, you know, any amount of people is going to be too many people for me, really. But no, it is, generally speaking, it's a nice area. Don't generally get that much trouble around here, which is nice. But yeah, I would say, oh, Blue's going nuts next door. Yeah, I would say overall it is a good place to keep horses. I mean, it's quite wet. It does get muddy around here. Turnout is not great, like, in the area in general. But there's other, like, perks that kind of make up for that in a way. So, yeah, overall it's pretty good around here. Okay, what do you love most about having the horses, and what do you get the most fed up with? I can tell you what I get the most fed up with. I get the most fed up with Blue because he's a pain in the butt. But yeah, what do I love the most about having horses? Their personalities, they're fun, they bring me peace and joy, and they stop me from going completely crazy, basically. Yeah, there's just something about horses that is just really good for me. I think horses are good for people in general, but for me, it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It kind of feels like healing and rest. Even though it's ridiculously hard work, like obviously you're shoveling stuff all day, you're carrying heavy stuff, riding in of itself is a very like taxing physical exercise. But it's just, I don't know, it just brings me peace. Like if I don't spend time around the horses, if I don't ride, I start to notice it in my personality. I start to get really unsettled, really cranky, really grumpy. I don't know, horses are just good for me, and I absolutely love that about them. Would not be without them. And yeah, like I said, probably the thing that the worst thing is Blue being a pain in the butt. Like, I love him to bits, he's brilliant, but it's like, does he have to break everything that he can reach? It is literally everything. If it can be broken, Blue will break it. So that's definitely the most annoying thing. I thought I had one more question, and I don't think I added it to my list. So I'm just going to see if my internet will connect. Let me just see if I can find that comment, because I'm sure somebody posted one on my final call post that I put up yesterday. Yeah, see, this is why I ended up putting them all on a list. Because I had a feeling this was going to happen. Oh, 4G. Is it back? Is it back? It's back. It's back. No, I'm offline. How can I have 4G and be offline? My goodness. Right. Notifications. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. My battery on my GoPro is going to run out before my internet connects at this rate. Come on. Just do it. Do it. Load. Literally just a swirling circle of doom, people. Right. Well, I'm really sorry if your question was the question that got missed that I can't actually access at the moment. I'm pretty sure the person who posted it had posted a question on my original post as well. I think they were like extra bonus questions that person posted. I feel like makes it a little less bad, but yeah, I'm really sorry. I can't access that right now. My internet is a bit rubbish down here. But yeah, that is our Christmas Q&A for 2024. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. I actually really enjoyed answering these questions. There were some really good questions this year. And yeah, I'm gonna go now because this video is getting ridiculously long. Hopefully I can like squidge it in a little bit, because that is a long video. And yeah, I'm gonna go get soggy and go ride my ponies. It's miserable out there today. Hence, I was very happy to have a video that I could shoot indoors. But yeah, I'm gonna go get damp now. Owning horses is great, people. I'll see you in our next video. Bye.